Because when it comes down to it, people in the queer community, we've faced a lot of rejection, discrimination, shame, other negative emotions from other people, right? And that can be really hard to get past. That can be really hard to acknowledge. That can be really hard to have any level of appreciation. And you might feel some bitterness or some envy or some frustration or some anger or whatever emotion you'll feel, right? And you could be valid in feeling that way. I guess what I'm trying to get at when it comes to gratitude is that how can we no longer sit in the state of victimhood in some sense to what other people have done to us? Now, I'm not going to say, I don't want anyone to come at me and say, hey, look, don't call me a victim. I rightly have the right to feel the way that I feel. You certainly do. Welcome to the Queer Quest podcast, your beacon of light and sprinkle of glitter in the queer community. I'm your host, Cristiano Green, CEO and founder of Queer Quest and a transformation coach for queer individuals. And together, we're embarking on a journey of transformation. Each week, we bring you a new training topic or connecting with visionary queer leaders in healing and coaching, diving deep into conversations that inspire growth, celebrate diversity, and empower you to live authentically. So wherever you are, settle in and let's get ready to unlock the vibrant potential within. This is where your quest begins. Hello, all you fabulous souls, and welcome to another episode of the Queer Quest podcast. I'm your host, Cristiano Green, the CEO and founder of Queer Quest and a transformation coach for people in the queer community. So this week, it is Thanksgiving for a lot of people out there. And although I never grew up celebrating Thanksgiving, I really wanted to do an episode around gratitude. So before we jump into that, if you enjoy the episode, if you learned something today, please consider following the show, subscribing to us on your favorite podcast platform, or leaving us a 5-star review. This helps the podcast more than I could even say, and this allows us to reach more and more people, and that would mean the world to me. So let's jump in to really what I'm going to be jumping into today, which is all about gratitude. Now, of course, like I said, it's Thanksgiving this week, but what if gratitude could mean more than a holiday tradition? Now, as someone who grew up without Thanksgiving or prayers or, blessings at the table, I found a unique path to gratitude that feels authentic to my own queer experience. So I really want to jump in and explore that together. So for me, I grew up in England, and then when I was 9 years old, I grew up in Australia before moving to Bali, 3.5 years ago. And in all of those countries, no one there celebrates Thanksgiving. We of course know about Thanksgiving because it's a big tradition, especially in, North America. And of course, it's in a lot of movies and it's in pop culture and things like that as well, right? So you know about it, right? But considering it's a holiday that you don't celebrate, you don't get live holidays for it. The only time we kind of know about it is when they have massive sales on, and because it's Black Friday, it's Cyber Monday, and it all happens around that same time. But growing up, myself, my family, we never obviously celebrated Thanksgiving. We weren't a religious family. My parents are both atheists, and we really did have an absence of any kind of gratitude rituals or dinner time rituals or, any of that stuff that you might see when you see people, who could give thanks, right? It's one of those things that I know that at Thanksgiving, it's very important for people to really, circulate in their body and talk about and share with others all the things that they're super grateful for in life, whether that's people, whether that's things, whether that's, experiences. It becomes, this one big day of the year where people give thanks and gratitude. And it's kind of, yes, a holiday because people will get together with their families. And I love that part of it is that you kind of come together and you spend the time with your family. You eat, you drink, you be merry, whatever it is that, your family traditions do. But it's a holiday to celebrate and be with the people that you love. And that is something to be grateful for. People fly across the country, across the world to be with their family on these kinds of holidays. So it's important for people to make sure that they, you know, understand that gratitude doesn't just have to be a holiday tradition. Now, my own journey to really stepping into gratitude has come over the past, say, 4 or 5 years. Especially when I had my rock bottom moment back in 2020, where I was really struggling with a lot of overwhelm and stress in my corporate world, still dealing with a lot of the stuff that came from being bullied as a young queer person. I just hadn't dealt with a lot of that stuff, and just using a lot of alcohol and drugs as ways to cope and to numb myself from some of the struggles and some of the pain and the overwhelm and the stress. I'm sure you can probably relate to some of that at times as well, especially if you're someone in the queer community. But like I said, when I had that rock bottom, I had to pull myself up from the ground, and I had to go on a journey of healing and go on a journey of growth and transformation, and really allow myself to kind of go into the depths of my soul on a spiritual level and really uncover who I truly was, who I truly am, and who I really truly want to be in this world as well. And because of that, I've been able to look back on a lot of the experiences in my life that maybe I've deemed as negative or had some negative energy attached to it. I was able to heal some of those and kind of get a different perspective. Now, a lot of the experiences that I had with, say, my family, there were times when I definitely felt unloved, or I definitely felt like I was the black sheep, the weirdo, the lone wolf in my family. And when I was able to go through my own journey, I was able to have some gratitude to realize that actually I put myself in those categories from my experiences of how I saw the world and how I took situations and gave a story to it and made a story turn into a belief. And that belief then led on to projection onto how my family saw me. And so from having deeper conversations with them and maybe, really rewiring the beliefs and kind of retelling the story, I was able to have a lot of gratitude for some of the situations that were some of the hardest things that I've had to go through. Now, I can look at myself now and say, look, I'm grateful for all of the bullies who pushed me down to the ground. Now, you might think that's a really weird thing to say, but the reason why I'm saying that is because I am not going to change who I am today, or would I want to change who I am today because of some of the experiences that other people had. How you treat me says a lot about you, right? And same thing as how I treat you says a lot about me. So I have to go back and take away myself as doing anything wrong in those situations, or being wrong, or having something wrong with me, and realizing that in this life that I have chosen, that I'm living, I'm grateful for those experiences because they taught me a lot of things. They taught me to be strong. They taught me to figure out who I am. They taught me to really understand how I want to treat other people, because I felt what it's like to be severely bullied, to be picked on, to have narcissistic people in your life treat you in certain ways, to have people control you, or you allow them to control you, right? I've learned how to set better boundaries, to walk away from things that don't serve me, and to also cultivate beautiful relationships in my life. And I know that if I hadn't gone through a lot of these experiences, I may not know how to do those things. I may not know how to be who I am today fully. So I have to have some gratitude for that, even though I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, or I wouldn't wish to go through it anymore. I'm still grateful that it happened, because it taught me a lot about life and a lot about who I am and a lot about how I want to act. So for me, going into a deeper level, gratitude is a huge thing for me, because I have to really look back on some things. And if it's, there'll be times when I have memories pop up, like we all do in life, and I look at them and go, okay, wow, like that thing still kind of bothers me. And then when I can truly sit with it and figure out why it bothers me, I can then lead to go, what did I learn from it? And try to turn that around again. And then be grateful for those situations as well. Like, I've had some really horrific things happen in my life, ups and downs, and I know we all have, right? And I'm not saying that you need to go out there for yourself and say, hey, I'm so grateful that all of these shitty things happened. Because everyone has an individual journey of gratitude, and everyone has an individual journey of how they heal and how they move past things that have happened in their life. I'm personally just talking about my own journey towards gratitude. And I just hope that if I'm sharing this, it resonates. You maybe give it a try. Share with me how, maybe some of the real tough times in your life, how you learned how you could be grateful for those things and what they've done for you. And if not, share with me another way that you can learn to be grateful, because the power of gratitude is a really high frequency emotion. And being able to live in gratitude and being grateful for things allows you to create more things for you to be grateful. Because you live in that energy of gratitude, then you attract more of that as well. So really, it's a reflective thing. It can be a spiritual thing as well. And it's a deeply personal experience, because how you experience gratitude is vastly different to how the next person does it as well. Now, what is gratitude? It's a feeling, it's an emotion. It's not just saying the words thank you. It's truly appreciating yourself, other people, other experiences, the things that you do, the career that you have, anything that could be that really cultivates that feeling of gratitude and appreciation for the way that you show up in the world, appreciation for the career that you have, the people that are in your life, the people that are no longer in your life, the experiences that have taught you to be who you are. It can be an appreciation, And again, it may not necessarily be that you have gratitude for the situation, but can you be grateful for what you learned from that situation or who you are today because of that situation, right? If you're not there yet, that's okay as well. Like, maybe what are other things that you could be grateful for in your life that you really feel like you can cultivate as well?
Are you ready to embark on a journey of transformation that's uniquely yours? Welcome to QueerQuest, the world's first and best personal development platform created by and for the queer community. Imagine a space where your authenticity isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. A place where you can grow, learn, and thrive alongside a vibrant community that understands you. At QueerQuest, we're more than just a platform. We're a family. Connect with like-minded individuals, share your stories, and empower each other to reach new heights. Our tailored courses are designed to address the unique experiences of the queer community, from self-love and confidence building to career advancement and beyond. We've got you covered. It's time to step into your power and transform your journey. Join us today at courses.queerquest.vip, see what we're all about, and sign up to begin your quest.
Because when it comes down to it, people in the queer community, we've faced a lot of rejection, discrimination, shame, other negative emotions from other people, right? And that can be really hard to get past. That can be really hard to acknowledge. That can be really hard to have any level of appreciation. And you might feel some bitterness or some envy or some frustration or some anger or whatever emotion you'll feel, right? And you could be valid in feeling that way. I guess what I'm trying to get at when it comes to gratitude is that how can we no longer sit in the state of victimhood in some sense to what other people have done to us? Now, I'm not going to say, I don't want anyone to come at me and say, hey, look, don't call me a victim. I rightly have the right to feel the way that I feel. You certainly do. It just depends on how long you want to feel that way for. If you're still dealing with a problem that's happened 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and that's still affecting you today, that person who did that to you probably has no thought around that at all. But what they've done to you is affecting you now because you're choosing to allow that thing to affect you still. Right? You didn't choose for them to do it to you. But if it's still affecting you today, you are choosing to allow it to affect you today. And when I talk about gratitude here, gratitude can set you free. It can set you free from those things by going, okay, look, what do I need to do here in this moment to learn how to heal from the situation, to figure out what I need to learn from this situation, so I no longer have it as a point of, negativity in my life, a story that I'm telling, a place of me living like a victim in some sense, right? Because again, if something's happened to you in the past and it's still affecting you today, there's a victim of you there. Like you're affected by that thing in a negative way. Now, what can we do about those things? Maybe we can go into some deeper gratitude things like mindfulness or meditation or journaling, or find someone who we can trust, like a coach or a therapist, who can really help us to uncover the depths of why we feel that way, what we need to do in order to overcome those feelings, and then how we can transmute that energy into something more positive and actually something that is going to actually help us in our life. Like I said, you can't change what people did to you, and you don't deserve to be treated by people poorly in your past, right? No one deserves some of the stuff that we've been through. It doesn't change the fact that we've been through it, right? It just can, but what can change is how we see it. And how we can change that is through really learning and understanding ourselves on a deeper level. And for me, when I really reflect on my own life, the things that have got me to where I am today are those deeper things that people did to me, that taught me a lot about myself, gave me a lot of strength, made me have to really work hard to get past these things. But when I got past them, on the other side of that, there was growth, there was transformation, there was healing, and there was the next level in my life that I achieved, whether that is spiritually, whether that is emotionally, mentally, physically, entrepreneurially, financially, relationally with other people, like identity-wise. Like, I have had the best growth in the hardest times. And for me, I can be grateful for that, because if what someone did to me over here spurred me to go up 5 levels instead of just staying at this level for another couple of years, I have to be grateful for that, because I have jumped ahead in life because I've had some traumatic stuff happen or traumatic stuff happen, and I've had to learn how to overcome that or learn to live with that, And I trust that you can understand really deeply what that means. That gratitude is there's a spiritual side to it. The self-awareness that comes from these kinds of conversations that we have with ourselves. The amount of presence that comes from living in the present moment and being grateful for the situations that we have. How that gratitude is an act of rebellion against societal narratives that really tell us, in the queer community, that we are less than. We don't have to let those people tell us those things and us believe it, because someone who brings you down to the level that they're at is beneath you. Think about that. Someone who is bringing you down to their level is beneath you. Someone who's trying to help you up from a time in life where you really needed to be pulled up, they're helping you up to their level as well. So you've got to be grateful for both people, because it shows you that they might have dragged you back down here, but they're showing you that, no, I'm not going to live down there. I'm going to move myself up here. And if I need some help to get up there, I'm so grateful for that person as well. It's such a beautiful thing to be able to look into someone's eyes and tell them how they helped you and be grateful for it, whether it was good or bad, right? I mean, you don't have to tell these people that really messed you over, because why would we need to speak to these people anymore? But think about celebrating and having gratitude for, the rituals that you have in your life, your chosen family, affirming yourself in the world of queer joy and queer excellence, and finding beauty in your own individuality. Just really need to work on how gratitude aligns with your own personal growth and your own spiritual awakening and your queer awakening as well. So really have to figure out that on this level, that it's a deep, 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 deep sense of gratitude that you have for yourself. And it's something that if you really want to learn how to cultivate having it more than just that one time a year, or even no time a year like my family did, what are some of the things that you can do as a queer person? So for me, you could do something as simple as daily journaling. journaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things in your life that you're grateful for about your queer identity, your queer experience as well, right? If you talk about this and really kind of go into it a bit deeper and make sure the next day you don't write the same thing, you will learn how much more grateful for you are for your experience than you can imagine, because you're forcing yourself to really find things to be grateful for as well. You could also learn how to express gratitude to people in your life on a regular basis and cultivate that in your relationship. Like, if anytime someone does something nice to you, says something nice to you, I'm so grateful for that. Thank you so much. You cultivate that, and you also teach other people how to treat you as well. Now, like your relationship can be born and bred on gratitude instead of sometimes negativity and bitching and gossiping, right? Let's go from gossip to gratitude. Like, it's not a far stretch to, instead of talking gossip about other people, talk about gratitude about yourself and your people in your life and the things that you're working towards as well. You could also do things that really help you to, like, that's going to help you move forward, like setting goals and then having action plans and being accountable and finding accountability partners, and then being grateful for the fact that you're moving forward in whatever goal that it is. Could be a fitness goal, could be a mental goal, could be a career goal, right? Whatever they are, saving money for a trip, for a holiday, right? You could cultivate these things in your life. You can do mindfulness meditations, and a lot of those meditations that you hear out there, and I've got a few of them as well, that they focus on gratitude and they get you to that level of gratitude as well. So it's important for me to talk about gratitude. It's important for us to live in a place of gratitude because it's a tool for empowerment and transformation. And I really want you to imagine a world where queer people thrive by focusing on what makes them extraordinary instead of the opposite, focusing on the things that are making us, underwhelmed and unhappy. And I really challenge you out there, listeners, to adopt gratitude as a way to claim your queer power and create joy even in challenging times. Because if we can create joy in challenging times, that's when you really know you've moved to a higher spiritual vibrational frequency that you're living on. So what I want to before I leave here, I want to reiterate. What is the things in your life that you are grateful for? What is it? The people, the things, the experiences, yourself, like really go into those things. Then what are the things that you struggle to find any gratitude in? Ask yourself, what's causing you the lack of understanding and clarity around that? What can you have learned about that situation? And how can you learn to cultivate gratitude to then move into empowerment and transformation as well? Figure out if you're someone who's really keen on really cultivating it, pick one of those things that I mentioned before, whether it's journaling, whether it's meditation, whether it's, setting goals and finding accountability partner, whatever it could be that's going to help you to do that. Really allow yourself to do that, because it's important that, when we focus on this and find a community like the community that we have at QueerQuest, that, you shine, you find these people, and then you be grateful for that. And you learn that, okay, like I'm cultivating the people I want around me, because at QueerQuest, that's the whole point of it, it's queer personal development, queer healing, queer growth, queer transformation. And you've got people who are coming here for those reasons. So why not connect with them? And then you can, like I said, learn how you can cultivate more gratitude by having the right people in your life. And before I leave here as well, I do want to share my heartfelt gratitude to all of you listeners out there, to anyone who has ever listened to this podcast, who's listening to it now, whether, you've sent me a message, whether you just listened, whether you followed, whether you've liked, whether you subscribed. I'd love for you all to be able to do that, because it really helps get this podcast out further. But I just have a lot of gratitude for you out there. And I hope that you understand that you are loved, you are important, you are special. And the more that you can see that, the more that you can have gratitude for who you are in this world, the better you're going to have a life for yourself as well within the queer community, but also just in life in general. So thank you for being here with me, not just today, but every step of this beautiful queer quest that we're all on. And I'll be back next week with another episode of the Queer Quest podcast. But until then, always remember that you've got this and I've got you. Bye for now.